Okay, here is a rectangle, all measurements are in centimetres. The area of the rectangle is 48 centimetres squared. Show that y is 3. Now, we'll be able to tell if we're right or not because we'll get to the conclusion y is 3. Firstly, from looking at this rectangle, we can see that we have x's and y's, and we end up needing to get to an answer without x's and y's. So this is where it gets quite confusing. You have to try and work out what x or y is before we even get to the answer. And we know that the answer eventually is going to be y equals 3. So before that, we have to try and work out what x is. And it says it's a rectangle. So if it's a rectangle, you know that these two sides are equal to each other. So what we can set that as is an equation to find out what x is, which will in turn help us find out what y is. So we have 2x plus 6 is equal to 5x take away 9. Donald Trump, build my wall. I'm going to add 9 to both sides, so I get rid of this negative here. If I add 9 to this side, add 9 to this side, I'm left with 5x equals 2x plus 6 plus 9, well 6 plus 9 is 15. So equals 2x plus 15. Okay, I need to get the x's on its own, and there's no point taking 5x from both sides because this will go into negative. So I'm going to take away 2x from both sides, take away 2x. That leaves me with 15 equals 5x take away 2x, which is 3x. So if 15 equals 3x, I want to get x on its own, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3, and I'm left with, you can probably start to see it taking shape now, x equals 5. So now I know that x is 5, what I can do is substitute that in to one of the sides here. So now I've worked out that x is 5, I'm going to work out, well, I could do it for both of them really. I've got 5 times by 5, then take away 9, which is 16 centimetres, and we also know that that one there must be 16 centimetres as well. Okay, so the area of the triangle, this is where this bit comes. It's a tricky question because it's got so many steps, but each step is just something that we already know. We know how to solve equations, we know how to find the area of a shape, and then we again know how to solve equations. So the area of that is 48 centimetres. Now area, I'm going to write it down here, area equals base times by height, or length times by width, whichever you want to call it. So it is the width, 16 centimetres times by y. So the length or the width, we've got to find the area, we're going to do 16 centimetres. And at the moment, we don't know what either of these two sides are. They're just called y. So 16 centimetres times by y centimetres equals 48 centimetres squared. And you can solve this by doing 48 divided by 16, or you might already know this, that 16 times by what gives me 48, well therefore y equals 3. Question 29. Brogan needs to draw the graph of y equals x squared plus 1. Here is her graph. Write down one thing that's wrong with her graph. Well, it's a quadratic. I say it like that because it sounds a bit curvy. Quadratic graphs are supposed to be curvy. A quadratic, it's supposed to be curvy. So write down one thing that's wrong with Brogan's graph is it is supposed to be a curve and not joint with straight lines. Question 30. To finish off with, we looked at these before, but in a sale the normal price of a book is reduced by 30%. The sale price is $2.80. What is the normal price? So if the original price is 100% and we're taking away 30% of it, what we're left with is 70%. So we know that the £2.80 that people are paying, oh, I keep doing my colons there, the £2.80 that people are paying is 70% of the original cost. So let's try and work out what 10% equals. 70% down to 10%, we're dividing it by 7. So let's divide this side by 7 because we're doing the same to both sides because it's got an equal sign. £2.80 divided by 7. Well, 28 divided by 7 is 4. So £2.80 divided by, or 280 you could think of it as, divided by 7 is 40. So it's going to be 40 pence. Now, we've got 10%, but what we want to do is find the original cost, which is 100%. Oh, what am I doing? So we're going to times it by 100, times this side by 100. 40 pence times by 100 is 400 pence, or £4 is our answer.